Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Monday, February 10th, 2025. We're going to look at someone who's in the news and goes by the moniker Big Balls in this video, but we're going to build up to it with some information, especially since some of my viewers maybe not following current events as closely as I do or are located in other countries. So here's a little background before we get to this person that's so interesting and is great meme fodder currently. Big balls. The U.S. corporation went bankrupt in May of 2020, and any entity that goes bankrupt has to have an auditing. And that's what's happening with the United States government now and the DOGE, or Department of Government Efficiency. Now, I found a couple of really great articles this weekend. One takes about 10 minutes to read. I highly, highly recommend it. I'm going to show you in a share screen, and I'll have a link to it in my video description box. But it talks about how this has kind of happened. But just understanding the fact that what's going on, despite all the crying and liberal tears and the drama about USAID, um, which had nothing to do with U.S. aid and everything to do with international interference. Um, what's going on? These are audits, and they need to be done. You see, because we're going to end up with a republic that doesn't need to assume any bad debt or um, incorporate any elements that just aren't working as they should. And of course, we need from start to finish some transparency. So, what happened, as I understand it, and this is just layman's terms, okay? President Trump and a lot of the White Hats and Alliance, they knew that appointments that needed to be confirmed were going to be slow walked and opposed, and that kind of shenanigans, the typical Washington bureaucracy, tactics. And they decided to be unconventional, and they've done it in a brilliant and wonderful way. So what they did was they pinpointed positions that didn't need to have confirmation hearings, but could have some really um, relevant access to policy changes, things like that. And they wanted to hit the ground running, even if some of the bureaucracy, the deep state bureaucracy, was trying to do their traditional tricks. And that's why this has all started so fast. I mean, as far January 21st, the first full day in office, boom, it was happening. And what was happening was that Elon Musk, someone who can also think outside the box, I don't care if he's a 2.0 or not. In fact, I hope he is, because the original had some sketchy stuff going on. But thinking outside the box, he hired a group of people who have coding and hacking experience. Their job title is expert. I don't care if they're 18 or 19 years old. They're getting into these computer systems and tracking the money. You know, the 17 team always told us to watch the water, but I think you need to, and to watch the wives, but I think you also you also need to be watching that money trail. And boy, they are. And that's why we had all the disclosures about some of the horrible abuses of spending and that was done by USAID. The Treasury has also had some some spotlighting. And basically, what you need to know is that every single governmental entity, three-letter on, is going to be audited. And these our young auditors, for example, on January 21st, when they got started at 12:01 after midnight, by the time the bureaucrats came to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, so much was done already. Boom, they were ready to go out the gates. By the time they had their first email stating they were outraged, the Elon Musk already had a legal team ready to say, no, what we're doing is valid and correct and needs to be done as part of the bankruptcy auditing that's required when an entity has a bankruptcy. And so there's still some opposition efforts going on, but I've really enjoyed reading some of the comments, that uh, when Elon got locked out of walking into a building, his team was already in the back door and the computer systems had it open and going on. Well, there was, again, that liberal outrage that this unconventional and very effective process was going on. And one of the people who are an expert has now been identified as Edward Coristine, who on his LinkedIn profile, which he has since deleted, um, he referred to himself as Big Balls. So it's huge, wonderful meme fodder. I'm going to take you to share screen real briefly, and we're going to look at a couple of articles, that I've gotten some of this information from. They're very readable. One of them's even very mainstream, which is surprising. And you can see some of the background. And then we'll just see what the universe wants us to know about this young gentleman. Big Balls is 19 years old, a high school graduate. He's already, at the age of 19, started 5 companies, and one of them seems to be fairly active and um, a domain website sharing type of thing. I'm not a techie, obviously, so excuse me for butchering it. If you ever watch this, Big Balls, I salute you. I love you. I love what you're doing and you and the team. But you apparently are going to be the face, Big Balls in the face of the government audit that's going on here in the United States. Okay. But yeah, let's see what's going on. Again, those 2 articles, I'm getting ready to share them with you. And the first one was shared with me by one of my viewers. It's located on the Burning platform and Override, and it talks about Inside the Revolution, Rewiring American Power. I'm scrolling. If that bothers you, look away for a minute, because one of the things I do want to share is that sometimes the most effective plans are the most simple, especially if you're coming at it from a non-traditional viewpoint. And so here's what happened. Okay, what the Doge team has done, the pattern was devastating in its simplicity. 1, map the money flows. 2, deploy aligned personnel. 3, expose the networks. 4, restructure the systems. By the time the bureaucrats drafted objections to one breach, 3 more had already occurred. So it talks about what was going on behind the scenes here, the impact of it. It's just a really excellent article. Okay, and then I found one by Newsweek that is talking about Edward Coristine, the teen Doge engineer. And you can read a little bit about him over here on this one. I'll have links to both of those articles in the video description box. But now, let's see, since he is now a public figure and probably was as a company owner anyway, we can, without worrying too much, we can ask the universe for just some insights, information about this Doge engineer, and especially the activities he's doing for Doge. And I'd love to know too what the near future shows for him, because I think if you've started 4 companies by the age of 19, this guy's going to be on fire and doing a lot of stuff. So hopefully it's effective and legal and super profitable. Because if you're an innovator and an entrepreneur, you know, all success to you. All success to you. Okay, so here we go. Hang on just a second. I'm going to switch the camera. You can watch me work with the cards, and we'll find out what the universe wants us to know about this young gentleman. By the way, the Newsweek article does share some of the memes that are coming out and the humor that's involved with this nickname this guy chose. So you got to have him to choose a name like that. I'll say that for you. Okay. Let's switch the camera. By the way, it'll be a new type of camera. I hope it works out really well for us. A little wider frame of view, I think. And here we go. Okay, we are seeking insights and information about the young engineer seen in the public eye and a Doge engineer, Edward Coristine, aka Big Balls. What does the universe have to tell us about this young man? Um, Insights and information are appreciated. And any of the other young engineers out there, if you would like a tarot read, once your name is public, let me know and I will do it. But we found out about big balls first, and that name is rather unique and it's getting us some information. We have the moon card showing up and judgment. Ooh, two major arcanas already. Then we have the Three of Cups. We have the Eight of Cups, Page of Pentacles, the Tower. I'm not surprised to see the Tower on this. And the Hanged Man. Oh my gosh, look at this. Out of seven cards, we have one, two, three, four of them are major arcanas. Okay, I'm going to tell you kind of specifically what I'm seeing as far as the intuitive downloads on this. And then we'll look at the card elements that gave me the confidence to make those statements. First of all, um, I'm getting a feeling that Edward Coristine, there's more to this young person than meets the eye. In fact, at one point, and I wish I was more of a techie expert, I thought, man, if I was a hacker and I had that kind of expertise, I would probably put out fake photos of myself and even switch genders. Um, so Edward Corstein may be an Edwina or something. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm saying it would. But here, what we're hearing here, the moon card is just saying I'm not sensing that it's any danger to the person seen in the public eye as Edward Corstein, but there's more to this young man's story than we're being told. Okay, and some of that's for his protection, and some of that is operational safety, and some of that is just that's the way they have to be. I mean, so I'm not saying that Edward himself is going to be dishonest with us, but there's a lot going on with this young man, and we really don't have a need to know. But he is bringing some judgment on with his work. He and the other D.O.G.E experts, their work is bringing some accounting. This is always talking about reviewing past actions, and that's exactly what the accounting is about. We've already been celebrating some of the news they have brought forth. Absolutely. Now, here's what I'm seeing here as far as this goes, is that in the current, he's going to seem to fade out of the public eye. Maybe the memes will continue, what have you, but he's going to fade out of the public eye a little bit. And let's see what's going on here. Near future, here's what's going to be interesting. And then I'd like to get a couple more just to see, down the road, what we're going to see or hear from this young man. We have the tower showing up. So he is definitely part of the important takedown of the those elements of the U.S. government that will not be able to pass an audit. And those include so far USAID, the Pentagon, Treasury. I mean, we're going to keep going, and he's part of that tower moment. Absolutely. The Page of Pentacle talks about reliability, worthwhile effort. He's a hard worker. He's got his eye on the prize. He's got some big plans and goals, and he's all about looking at things. He's going to fit in really good with the Tesla team and Musk and others because he's already well able to think outside the box and come up with some creative answers. Um, as he's the kind of guy you tell him it can't be done, he's going to say, "Watch me." And he'll get it done in a whole different way, but he will get it done. Let's get a couple more cards because, wow, this is fascinating. Another major arcana with the Empress and Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is telling us that he's a truth teller, a truth seeker. He's doing really good work um, for the United States. That work's going to continue. And it's interesting, the Empress shows up, and that is just a beautiful card. So his overall energy is very strong. His his vision is very, very clear. He's open to lots of possibilities, and yeah. But what's funny here is starting out, there's more to the young man than we know, more to his story than we know or need to know, and it may come out later, but it'd be fascinating to see what it is. And again, I still don't rule out, the fact that they've put in a face out there that may not be the actual face, a name that may not be the actual name. But for someone on the D.O.G.E team working in that, with that supposed moniker, here's what they're saying about him. So let's recap. The U.S. government is undergoing an audit, and it is being done in part by the auspices of the D.O.G.E team. And one of those D.O.G.E team members is a young engineer, a D.O.G.E engineer by the name of Edward Coristine. He's 19 years old. He's already started 5 different companies. Since his name's out there in the public domain, I thought, hey, let's take a look at him. And again, it's good to know that what's happening is the US declared bankruptcy in 2020. And as we move into a republic, we don't want to bring elements from that bankruptcy that were part of the cause of the bankruptcy. So it would be just like if a corporation goes bankrupt, which is what the US was, you would audit each of the subsidiaries under it and do away with those that were part of the problem. That's what's going on in the United States. So one of the people that, and now the kind of name and face of this young Doge team of experts is Edward Coristine with his moniker of Big Balls. And we asked for some insights and information about him. I thought this guy's going to be really interesting. Well, he was. First of all, out of the 9 cards I drew, 5 of them were major arcanas, which is just over 55% of the deck. Now, major arcanas in the tarot deck are 28% of the deck. So it was heavily um, weighted towards major arcana information, which says it's very relevant. This is a young person of incredible potential, and um, uh, I'll just leave it at potential. Strength and potential, definitely. Now, what came up here for the card to indicate him was the moon card and clarified by the judgment card. So whoever is big balls. Whether we've been told the truth that it's Edward Corstein, a 19-year-old or not, I'm kind of doubting that with this card coming up, but okay, we'll go with it. They're part of bringing this judgment process. The judgment card indicates reviewing past choices. Quite, almost always. That's a huge element of it, and that's what they're doing with the audit. Now, that audit is going really well. They're already doing some celebration about it, but it's only in the beginning stages. But it's been a real eye opener for some of our normies, not the ones that are, decidedly, tunnel vision forever that what's happening is evil and wrong and what have you. But for people that were uninformed or on the fence, it's been a real big eye opener for a lot of them. Now, Edward, or the person seen in the public eye as Edward, or maybe the one behind the face behind the face. I don't know. He's going to be fading from the public eye a little bit, or for his security and safety, he's not going to be out in public as much. So that's happening now. We looked then at the future for him. First of all, okay, um, entrepreneur actually has some skills that are developing quite quickly in the area of diplomacy, and he's learning as he goes. He learns on his feet very fast and very well. He is part of, boom, the tower moment for what is happening with this auditing process going on here in the United States, the government auditing. So he's part of it. And yeah, the U.S. government has reached their tower moment. Mr. Trump is not playing games. He's kicking ass and taking names, okay? And thought outside the box and going about this in I won't say unorthodox way, but just a very relevant and unique way. Something that was totally unexpected by the swamp creatures, and I love that. Um, Looking at things in a new way. This is something that Edward excels at. Absolutely, finding unconventional solutions for conventional problems, and or even more unconventional solutions for unconventional problems. He's as far as a business outlook in the near future, the Emperor showed up, which is a very desirable card to have, saying that success is going to be his, a long-term success, absolutely. And again, he's part of this. This part of spearheading this, bringing some truth and clarity to people that needed it, because our government has done way too much, way too secretly for way too long, and change is here. And part of it is going to be people like this team of young Doge engineers whose job title is expert. And for Edward, whoever you are or may be, I wish you the best of luck, and I salute you, and you and the team keep doing the fantastic stuff you're doing, and let's clean house. Okay? That's it for this video. Until next time, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light, and I wish for you everything bright. Bye.